he has been a fire officer, sorry.
Good morning, Sergeant Odin. My name is Fire Substation Officer Timothy Martin, and we are equivalent in rank within the service. And I work currently. I'm attached to the Bastia district. I'm the person in charge of Bastia, and I would just like to share where my district, the areas my district covers. That it covers from Kean, which is from the Windsor area, stemming over to the Frigate Bay Peninsula section, in the west down to Stoneford, Challengers area, and also encompassing Stapleton area. I am also the person in charge of fire prevention, and fire prevention is where we try to engage the public on how they can be safe in terms of getting them in relation to having a plan for their home or business, etc. It's just tips to keep the nation safe.
Great. Okay, tell me, what is the mission and the responsibility of the St. Kitts and Nevis Fire Rescue Services?
Well, the mission of the St. Kitts and Nevis Fire and Rescue Services is to safeguard and protect the lives and property of the citizens and the general economy by reducing the dangers and effects of fires and explosions. So we take our mission statement very seriously, and we strive in our everyday activities to keep that in mind. Yes.
Is the Fire and Rescue Service considered law enforcement?
Well, we are not exactly considered law enforcement. However, we function within the framework of national security. And within the framework of national security, we also play a part in keeping our country safe. So we do not just leave it up to police to protect the Federation. Whatever we can do, we lend assistance in various ways. So if you guys from the police department need some assistance and we can provide that assistance, we also assist where that is concerned.
Okay, good. So we know that your primary responsibility is house fires, right? But today I want to focus on the bushfire, the grass fires, the garbage that persons will burn in their backyard and stuff like that. For me, this time of the year, we would see a number of bushfires in the different districts around the country. How big a deal are these fires, and do you really need to respond to these fires?
All right, so let me break down your question in parts. Now, for us as firefighters, we treat all fire calls with a sense of urgency. Now, a house fire, a structural fire, is a bit more serious, right? However, when it comes to a bushfire can also lead to your home being engulfed in flames. So we do not treat a bushfire casually, so to speak. Whenever that alarm goes down, we have a set time for us to get out of the station, fully dressed and on the road. And I could say sometimes the guys and them, we get dressed on the appliance. So sometimes you see the appliance moving on the road and you see us putting on our jackets, our helmet, etc. So we try not to waste any time within the station. We try to maximize as much time out on the road. Now, with these let's talk about the house fires. House fires are serious fires for us, because then it means that someone's property, their livelihood, is going up in flames.
Maybe their life.
Or maybe a life, exactly. So we spare no bones in terms of trying to reach to these structural fire within a quick time, and be able to minimize whatever the damage is caused by the fire as quickly as possible. In relation to whether or not if we need to respond to all fires, yes, we do need to respond to all fires. One of the challenges we have is, even when it comes to prank calls, now we have to treat even a prank call with the same sense of urgency, because you never could tell whether or not that call is factual. So even if we might have some doubt based on the sketchy information that we might be getting, we still have to respond. But all in all, we want to encourage the public not to make those type of calls. Right?
I agree with you. It takes up resources.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We have a $1 million truck on the road, and that has to maneuver through traffic, etc. So we have the lives of our fire officers at stake, and we have the lives of the citizens within the Federation at stake as well. So we are urging the public, to desist from making such calls.
I remember probably about a year or more ago, we had I would call it a wildfire in our district, in the Clico housing, go all the way up to White's area. And for me, what do you think causes these type of fires? Because sometimes it might not be that somebody lit the fire. Do we have a lot of that going on?
Well, I think the number one causes for those fires is malicious burning. Persons willfully going and lighting these fires. And there are other aspects that causes bushfires as well. Some of the time persons, and they find that burning the bushes help them to assist them in clearing the land faster. There isn't the tedious work in terms of digging up the grass or having to cut the grass properly, etc. So they use that form of lighting. Then you have persons who are using cigarettes. They smoke, and sometimes I'm driving behind a vehicle and you just see that spark coming off the ground. Somebody just flick a cigarette outside, not realizing that cigarette can go off onto the side of the road and actually catch bushes, etc. Our period for fires is normally the lower half of March into April, May, etc. That is pretty much the dry season, where we don't see a lot of rain, and the grass and so forth is a lot dry. So any kind of lighting that persons do, then of course fire carries embers.
Yes.
So you might see some embers flying in the air, and they only have to land on a dry patch of grass, and instantly that grass could form its own fire, spread as a wildfire. So cigarette lightings as well. Persons sometimes burn things in the yard, and not realizing that they did not create a safe area for that fire to burn. That fire spreads, and we get calls like that as well.
Okay, thank you so much for that wealth of knowledge. Okay, I want to piggyback a bit. You spoke about the the debris and the garbage in the backyard. I have seen that also with the farmers, that they would light the area. And some persons, depends on the wind too, I've seen that it gets out of control. So that is something that persons need to be mindful. I don't know if it's better when you burn the soil first before you start to prepare for.
Well, the procedure in which the farmers them use is a term I think called slash and burn.
Okay.
Now, when there is this ideology that for farmers who graze animals, when they burn the grass, especially when it's dry, you get that green grass sprouting a lot quicker than if they were to just leave the grass just like that. So some farmers they do use that method in terms of getting fresh grass for the animal to feed on. Also, to what the mistake that most farmers make as well, you find that there isn't a clear bordering around their farm. So their farm is overgrown with shrubs and weeds, etc. And when they light, that fire just spreads over, extending their boundaries and into maybe even other farmers' boundaries and even into the wildland. So we encourage persons to desist from burning fires. We advocate, especially for persons within your home, to take your garbage to the landfill.
Okay.
We have a situation, the whole world is facing a situation regarding the ozone layer as well. And the more we burn fires and so, the more toxic gases go up into the atmosphere, which it creates a condition for the whole federation as well as the whole world.
Yes, it does.
So desisting from burning helps the ozone layer.
Okay. Thank you so much, Fire Officer Martin. I think that you gave us a clear wealth of knowledge. I just want to piggyback again on the farmers. Have you all, I know that you would be in the media speaking on these things. Is there a time of the year that you would probably educate the farmers, or maybe something that you could think about?
Well, maybe that's something that we could actually look to do, geared towards something specially for the farmers and assisting them in any way, giving them the basic knowledge as to the way in which fire spread and things to look for, making sure that the resources are there for them to stop a fire in the event that the fire gets onto the farm, etc. So these are things that we could probably do for the future.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
It's 9:30 in the studio. We're going to take a break and we'll be back. The lines will be open on the other side for your questions and concerns. And of course, the number to call that time will be 465-2555. And for those of you in the United States, Canada area, you can use our exchange number, which is 718-577-2916. We'll be back right after this.
Tell me what you think about Christ. Made their sacrifice now. Tell me what you think about equal rights.
Outlets, Lodge, Molyneux, and nearby communities. The cable is coming to you. It's your turn to take advantage of amazing internet offers on the most reliable network in St. Kitts. On Saturday, April 15, join the cable on the lawn opposite the ATM in Lodge. Sign up for a new internet package with the cable and get the best internet connection at the most affordable price. Plus, Double your chances to win a trip for two to Barbados with spending money.
A trip with spending money.
Pay no deposit, no installation fee, no upfront costs whatsoever. And get connected same day with the cable. Come see us from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. on Saturday, April 15 on the Lodge Lawn. The Cable. Always giving you more where it matters. Terms and conditions apply.
Each day, we see how unpredictable life can be. So let Nagico Insurances help you prepare and safeguard what matters most. We provide solid coverage you can depend on, like life insurance to provide financial security for those you love, medical that covers dental, vision, and preventative care, and auto insurance with comprehensive coverage so you can drive with confidence. For all your insurance needs, visit us at Nagico.com. Nagico Insurances, fast, fair, and always there.
All right, welcome back. Let's head over to Sergeant O'Dane.
Yes, Diku.
We have 3 calls whenever you're ready.
Okay. Caller, you're on the air.
Good morning, Miss Oden,
Good morning, sir.
and Mr. Martin and Mr. GQ.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
And already, yes. I'm looking forward to this fire program. Now, how you spoke about the burning of different bush and all kind of thing, especially on farmers' farm. Well, one of the surface idea is for them to dig a trench, a hole, and throw all the bushes and grass that they have to burn, throw them down in the hole, and they burn them in there. And in that case, the fire, no spark would be able to spread and go and burn up anything. Because I remember some years ago in Springfield Cemetery, that was the reason, the only way they could get rid of the grass that they burn, that they cut in the cemetery. They dig a hole, and that hole they always have grass in their burning. When they cut them, they throw them in there. But one time somebody went to a funeral, and they light a cigarette, and they throw down the cigarette, and the cemetery was so dry that the fire get away in the cemetery and scorch up a load of tombstone. So my suggestion is that if they're going to burn bush on the farm, dig a hole. Because I know for sure, you got a lot of people that don't care. They tell us, well, okay, that is my ground, my farm, and they're going to chop down bush and just burn, and a load of smoke disturbing people who got asthma and all kind of problem. And if that fire only get away, there is no way that those individuals have water to out that fire. And so by the time the fire truck reach, a lot of damage will be done. So that is my suggestion for people who want to burn bush. Dig a hole or cover it up with dirt and make manure. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you, caller.
Yes, so in relation to that caller, persons, if you absolutely have to do some sort of lighting, make sure that you have a pit also. A pit, it limits the movement of the fire, and it would be within that confinement
And control.
and a control area.
Yes. Thank you very much, caller. Caller, you're on the air.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
Everybody there.
Good morning.
I just want to say a few things. I grew up as a boy to a man. I used to go on what we call mountain. I look at the mountain ground. And my father did that. Every poor person who could get a little place somewhere. But after a certain time, they start, they burn off. Remember what they used to do? They make small heaps. They ain't born one time. They make small heaps and space. So small heap, they ain't gonna get in a big fire. Now, I looked at a documentary one time, and they were showing you, I think I got it from the BBC Discovery Channel. Some of them, and they show you the nomads in Africa. They would go and settle in a area with the animals and the household and everybody. And they're going to be in this area for maybe a few months. And then after they're going to leave to go somewhere else. They heap everything on the burn. And by the time they're ready to come back to where they left, the place is green and nice. You could have what you call controlled burning. In Australia, when they hew down the trees them to make lumber, they learn from the Aborigines to heap the things and burn them, and then you get the seeds for those kind of trees. They help them to germinate. Okay? So, I just saying all of that. Things could be done and done in controlled manner. And I think lastly, I've been following your fire programs all the time. I miss very few. But I can't recall I ever heard you all talk about or discuss fertilizer fire. Fertilizer fire. Okay. And I believe you all should discuss it, get information, because more people into farming and they got all kind of fertilizer. And I know certain fertilizer could be made, you could use them to make, unfortunately, make bombs and so. But generally, fertilizer fire is a very nasty, dangerous fire. I think that is all for now, until another time when I could pass in and make some other comment. Have a good day.
Yes, thank you, caller. That was very interesting and educating. I like the idea that you even put us to think about other fires, fertilizer fire. I saw Mr. Martin shook his head, and taking notes, and we're pleased with that recommendation. Thank you so much. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning. I just called to congratulate Mr. Martin on a job well done. I worked with him for 17 years, but I'm now in retirement, and he has done a good job over the years. I am retired fire officer Tony Moore.
Can you turn on the volume on your radio, please? We're getting the feedback.
I'll walk away from my television.
All right, thank you. Go ahead. You heard who he was?
Yes.
Congratulating Mr. Martin on a job well done. I worked with him for 17 years, but I'm now in retirement. And it's a very good experience for an officer. But I'm in retirement now.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Moore. I appreciate your sentiment, and it was indeed a pleasure working with you. We worked quite well over those long 17 years. Your contribution to the fire department was well noted as well. You were one of the persons who we could have always count on to get the job done. So thank you very much for your time spent within the service.
Caller, you're on the air.
I got a little concern. Why is it the fire, right, department don't have access like the police, the army, and customs? The reason why I say that all these could like summons and lock up people, because it's very hard for these fire officers to go on the scene every time. Well, I live in Newton, and the fire truck pass here every day going to St. Paul area. Every day, 3 times a day sometimes. It's not easy. So why is it like we didn't put a lot for them to, so whoever they catch, they could give them a little summons, arrest them, just like the army and the police. They give them some more power, because I believe some of these things will stop. It will stop, because it's not easy with them man, they buy. The man every day now, 3 times a day for the truck pass, you know. So it's not easy. I mean, no. When they go, people on the scene, they're giving them some silly statement. I think they should get a little summons, and then when they do that, I believe the fire will cut down. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, caller. Thank you for that. We greatly appreciate it. There is penalty under the Small Charges Act if persons are found like maliciously lighting or carelessly lighting these fires. The penalty is actually $5,000 to 1 month, not exceeding 1 month in prison. We also have the act that guides us with malicious damage act 5.10 that speaks of fire that is set on buildings, that is more of a felony. But I too, when I was doing my research, I read your guys' Fire and Rescue Act, and yes, indeed, he's correct. It doesn't give you guys any sort of power. This goes back to all the way, if I'm correct, 2002 was the last time it was revised.
Yes.
So I am hoping with the new administrative leadership, the Chief Fire Officer, Mr. Williams, that this would be one of the things that would be revisited, and to see if more authority can be given to you guys. Because that was one of my takes when I was researching for this topic.
Well, currently we are doing some amendments to our act, and within the act we are looking to get a bit more teeth, so to speak, where the law is concerned regarding powers that we can execute within our duties.
Okay. Thank you so much. Caller, you're on the air.
Yes. Good morning to all.
Morning.
My question to Martin is, do the fire services have powers when...
Can you speak a little louder? We haven't...
My question to Martin is, do the fire services have powers of arrest, and when do that power kick in?
Okay, so yes, thank you very much for that question, Carlo. Yes, the fire services, we do have powers of arrest, but that powers of arrest only extends when persons in the general public are obstructing us from performing our duties. So if we go to a fire scene and someone is clearly hindering us from doing what we are supposed to do, then we can arrest that person.
For obstruction.
For obstruction.
Okay. Thank you so much. Caller, you're on the air. Hello? Caller, you're on the air.
Yeah, good morning. It's Sergeant Martin.
Good morning, Sonny Boy.
Alright, Sergeant Martin, I don't know how old the callers is, but a fireman used to be police. And they had the same powers police had, because they was taken from the police department and put over in the fire department. But I don't know what year they changed it. But you all had the same powers of a police. So the young callers, they don't know, because I'm an older guy. And I don't know when the powers were taken away from you guys. But a fireman was a cop. So tell that to the young people, and tell Mr. Rummel that he needs to petition for that fireboat. I'm going to keep saying it. You all need to get that fireboat from the United States. Thank you, Sergeant Martin and GQ.
Thank you for your call, Sonny Boy. Well, in relation to what Sonny Boy said, he is indeed correct where he said that the fire and the police were once joined. However, in the year 2000, January of 2000, we separated from you guys, and with that separation, a number of things were also separated from us. So the powers that we had as a police officer, that diminished. We are not able to carry some of the things over, because then that would be stemming over into the police jurisdiction. So as a separate entity from police, our powers were limited. However, like I said, we are currently looking into revising our act, and put in stronger measures so that we can have a stronger show of force within the Federation.
Okay. Caller, you're on the air.
Yes, good morning. Good morning, James. GQ and the fireman deal.
Good morning.
I have a problem. The act need to revive long time. When they remove oil from police, that should be done. I don't know what's going on, you know? Young people, and I don't understand what's going on. What you, Mr. Fireman? I don't want to know why is it the department now ain't got groups of firemen going around and assessing these business places. I had the opportunity to go to certain business places, and when you look at the storeroom, it's fire hazard. For instance, if I got a car places, I had the roll. These things the department must do to combat these things. Have a good day. This is Jam Down. Really, man, culture. Never hold with peace once wrong things going on.
Thank you very much, caller. Caller, you're on the air.
Yes, a blessed good morning, good program. When the vehicle and see the fire truck and the ambulance started, they're supposed to give way for them to go. But what happened to them? They're full speed and they want the fire truck to pass and they want the ambulance to pass. But I wonder if they get in an accident with the fire truck and the ambulance, the government and then we got to it out because they give way for them to pass and they mean they move in the full speed on the going. They take care, big cube morning.
Thank you very much, caller.
Morning indeed. We just have about 30 more minutes to go. You ready for next call, guys?
Yes, go ahead. Caller, you're on the air.
Hello. Hi. Good morning again.
Good morning.
I had to call back because I had forgotten something else I wanted to mention. When I was a youngster, I know they used to got some voluntary firefighters. And most notable of them, I could remember, was Moonlight Cecil Roberts. And the man was involved in so many things that sometimes he was a good friend of mine too. And I always think about him, say, well, man, he should have got some kind of national award for the many things he used to be involved in. Sometimes the truck only can pass, when they're going, the truck can pass, where a Moonlight done already saying, just happen the truck and him stop. I would have seen that a number of times. So I'm wondering if you are trying to recruit, revive the voluntary service, so you could get people to assist you all. Sometimes you say that you don't have full complement, the manpower. So I wanted to think about it because I believe there are people who would join, and more so. Remember, you carry the program to schools. So some of the children who would have been exposed, now they become adults, they might want to come in. They might not want to be permanent, but they might come in. So I want you to comment on that, please.
So Martin, we ask that you come in.
All right, so we could backtrack and then come forward if possible. Sure. Now, in Jamnong talk about the inspecting of businesses, and that is something that we do on a regular basis. Even more so now, you find that businesses are calling us to come and do inspections for them. And one of the reasons why they do this as well, in collaboration with insurances, for insurance purposes, insurance wants to know that your business is safe in terms of, because it means that spending money and so on their part if anything happens. So we have had businesses call us to do inspections. Can we do a lot more? I believe we can do a lot more. So that's one. And then the caller that spoke about persons not giving way to the fire appliance and other emergency vehicles. We want to encourage persons, and we try to do this as often as possible. Encourage persons to, if you hear any emergency vehicle, whether it be fire, police, the ambulance, to pull over. According to the law says that you should pull over to the left and allow these vehicles to pass. You never could tell what the emergency is, and bear in mind also on the ambulance side of things, sometimes an ambulance cannot move with its siren on, depending on the type of patient that they carry. So it is not the pulling over doesn't go just for the siren alone. If you see any flashing lights, you are asked to pull over as well, because you never could tell what the situation is, why they cannot use their siren at that point in time. The caller that spoke about the volunteers, that is something that is still dear to our heart in terms of firefighting, having a volunteer staff. However, we have to do some work where that is concerned. Once ago, yes, you could have found persons within the community coming out, and you just have to hear the fire truck, and you would see persons on the side of the road flagging down the truck, because we had a good cadre of volunteers. That cadre has dwindled a bit. However, we are seeking to put programs in place to get that back up and running. It means that persons would have to come and spend some time at the station, because then we would have to get them up to speed with changes that have been made over the time frame. Firefighting is not like once ago. There is a bit more technique and skill that needs to be applied while fighting a fire, and we need to impart these to even volunteers as well. So it means that, once our program is up and running, you would have persons coming to the station, spending some time there, getting some training on how to extinguish a fire. Additionally, we still asking persons, if you see us out on a scene and you want to assist in any way, just inquire who might be the person in charge, speak to them. Chances are they could find something for you to do while we're out there on the scene. So don't let it be a hindrance that we don't have that program up and running as completely. You could still come and volunteer your services.
Okay. Thank you very much, Officer Martin, with that. Caller here on the air.
Yes, Jam Long here again. Officer Martin.
Yes, sir.
I don't mean the business places them only, I mean deep in Irish Town and Newtown, in these tenement yard. For instance, you better come to the circus where we got a little chat at the Court of Conscience, okay?
I think we could do that.
You better come, because I think you all got a better knowledge about what's going on in the community, because I can't see everything.
Of course not.
That's true.
And we got a place named Delhi and Bombay and Jaffa. Oh my God, have a good day.
Thank you, caller. Caller, you're on the air.
Good morning.
Good
morning. Good morning.
Good morning. A pleasant good morning to you, the host and the guest in the studio. Good morning to you all.
Good morning to you as well.
It's interesting because of such a program, and it concerns me because I'm a trained firefighter. Most people don't know that, but I had my training in the Mediterranean. And it is a concern because when Mr. Foe was the fire chief, I used to go and visit him and speak about things and understand simulation, etc. Even the places I have worked, I have command them to get fire extinguisher. I have one in my home, and I would ask that everybody have a fire extinguisher in the home. It's for their own safety.
That's right.
Burning up things in the house and the yard is bad because inhaling things that they burn, that is clothing and bedding and so it's bad for you to inhale. However, I have a concern because I am wondering if you all works in accordance with the traffic department. Why? Because the roads already in St. Kitts is narrow. And I'm talking about roads significantly on the Island Main Road, particularly in Challengers, Sandy Point, and Keyon. You all need to get through. If not, the inspector of traffic, then you go and see the commissioner of police, who is a licensing officer, because I have seen things that where I have to wait. Shouldn't. Fire service, emergency vehicle shouldn't have to wait on the body. Push them out the way. And then, whatever damage is done, I'm not saying this ignorantly, let them repair. These roads, in particular, the areas that I mentioned, need to keep and remain safe, clear, so that there would be access for emergency vehicles, because nobody knows when anything can take place, And I am asking you all, see it possible and understand what I'm saying. Take the initiative. Somebody make a brave, bold step and approach the Department of Traffic, the Inspector of Police, and the Commissioner of Office, because these things need to be put in place. If all you don't get these help, sorry, what's the sense of running to Challengers and there's a fire in the village and there are cars parked on the side of the road and vehicles trying to come to you, Keyon and Sandy Point? What I'm saying may not make sense to most people, but I've seen it every day, and I speak about things that I see and understand and analyze. Please work with them, because these areas and the Island Main Road should remain safe and clear in case there's an emergency. I thank you all for listening and have a good day. Goodbye.
Caller, thank you so much for that call, and your suggestion is noted. And we will see how best that we can deal with that in conversation with, I guess, with Mr. Martin and his superiors and the traffic inspector.
Yes, indeed.
Thank you so much. Caller, you're on the air.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, I'm watching the show. Good morning, Mr. Martin. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks.
This is Miss Francis.
Oh, hi, Miss Francis.
Yes. I'm not sure if this is the show for this, but I'm just joining it because I just logged on to YouTube and I see that it's policing with you, right? There's an issue there at Fort Dante. I work there as a taxi operator, and I find that the stoplight is here and it's fine, it's helping, but the pedestrians now is the issue. When the vehicles are allowed to come out of Fort Dante, they are not giving respect to the vehicles, so we have to now stop and allow them to pass while the green light is on. So I don't think the pedestrians understand that they're supposed to wait on the traffic, right? Wait until we are coming out, like we are at a stop to pass, because they're passing as they please. They're only respecting the one to cross over into, like, to go up to the science complex. That's the only one respect is being given to. So you guys need to please, the police, the traffic, need to help the public to understand that they have to wait. Else they will get knocked down, because sometimes they're just so focused on getting out. They're crossing and you don't even see them sometimes just stepping down. They just step down and off of the side and try to cross to go like down to the back. Right? So please, y'all put something out there so people, big people, can understand, okay?
Thank you, caller. Your concern is noted, and I definitely agree with you that people need to be mindful, because they might be putting their own life in danger. Caller, you're on the air.
I'm asking that the fire department agitate for the powers, let the police, because I heard Mr. Martin said a while ago that when you hear a siren, you're supposed to give way. But the way some people are using the roads, they cannot hear no siren at all. Even if the siren right behind the bumper, they cannot hear it, because the amount of noise they have in the vehicle, they cannot hear it, and they can cause accident. And the fire truck has to wait so long behind them to move up the way. A lot of damage can be done. So I am calling on the fire department to agitate for that, and don't stop until you all get the powers, like the police, to arrest and lock up people who refuse to obey the law. That's my advice to you all. Thank you very much again.
Thank you so much, caller. Thank you, JQ. We just want to leave about a few tips, Mr. Martin, to the public. If you can just give us a few tips before we close off.
All right. So one of the tips that we want to highlight is if you are ever within a structure and the structure is on fire, the best way to get out of that structure is to stay low to the ground and crawl out to safety. What we find is that we have a bit more breathable air down the low because hot air and toxic smoke rises. So if you stand upright, you'll stand a chance of inhaling a lot more of the toxic smoke than if you stay low to the ground. If your clothes is ever on fire, you should stop, drop and roll. Stop, dropping and roll. It smothers the fire a lot quicker than if you're up and running. Running would actually be fanning the flames a lot quicker. If you ever get a burn, be sure to cool that burn with running water, room temperature water. Do not look to put ice on it. Or any type of ointment that would hold the heat within the affected area. So make sure you run cool running water over it for an extended period of time. And last but not least, when it comes to children, make sure that you keep matches and lighters away from children and even seniors. Senior citizens, persons who are going into this stage where they cannot remember things as much. Make sure to put away matches and lighters away from them.
Okay, I want to take this time to thank you for so willingly coming to my aid as my first interview on Policing with You.
It was a pleasure being here.
I think you gave me a wealth of knowledge, and also the community, the listening and viewing community. I want to thank the audience too, for those callers for calling in, and those who are listening. I want to thank GQ and ZIZ for hosting us once again. Thank you very much.
It was a pleasure being here.
Thank you.
Tell me what you think about Marcus. Tell me what you think about Christ. Made their sacrifice now.
Atlas, Lodge, Molyneux, and